Citizens have a right to come up to the podium. We ask that you, if you make any comments, that you keep those comments within 3-minute limit. If you talk longer than 3 minutes, I will politely ask you to sit down. Okay. Do we have any comment cards?
I do not have any tonight.
Okay, thank you. All righty. So on the ceremonial items, we have 2 proclamations tonight. The first proclamation, we're going to recognize Amarah. Amarah and Vicky White, could you all come up here to the podium if you don't mind?
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
Yeah, kind of got some jitters right now. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'll be fine.
Well, you have a lot of people here to recognize you and appreciate the things that you do in our community. Do you want to say a few things before I read the proclamation?
She doesn't know.
Oh, she doesn't know.
She doesn't know.
Okay. Well, blew that surprise, huh? Okay. Okay. So what we're here to do tonight, Amarah, you do so many wonderful things in our community, touching the lives of so many people, and just making a positive impact by your writing in the newspaper. You reach so many people and you give them hope. And sometimes, Amarah, all people need is just a little bit of hope to hold on to something to get them to the next phase in their life. And I can truly say that you do that. So tonight, your board has a proclamation with the City Council and I that we're going to read in honor of the work that you do throughout our community to make a positive difference, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So I am going to read this to you, and then council may have some questions for you, and then we'll come down and we'll present the proclamation to you, okay?
Thank you.
Okay. The City of Alamosa proclamation in recognition of Amarah for her hard work and dedication to helping others in the community. Whereas Amarah has committed into helping children and adults who have suffered or are suffering from abuse and neglect due to drug addiction, use of alcohol, and bullying. And whereas Amarah, with the support of her grandmother, Vicky, founded the Hope for Kids Like Me organization. And whereas since 2017, the Hope for Kids Like Me organization has been recognized as a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And whereas Amarah spends an enormous amount of her time, energy, and dedication to helping people in our community. And whereas Amarah contributes to the Alamosa Valley Courier by providing a weekly column, Amarah's Corner, Kids Like Me. And whereas Amarah continues to keep her focus on helping others heal by providing resources, Bibles, and holding toys, food, and clothing drives as well. Now, therefore, I, Ty Coleman, Mayor of the City of Alamosa, Colorado, and on behalf of the entire City Council and staff, do hereby recognize Amarah for her hard work and dedication of commitment to helping others. Given under my hand and seal of the City of Alamosa this 20th day of February 2019. Let's give her a round of applause, everybody. So, did you want to say a few words, or Vicky, did you want to say a few words and have council respond?
I would like to thank you all. It is kind of hard to take in because the people that I do sort of want to be here are not here. I feel like I've done so little as well, and I think most of it is because of some of the words that were said to me when I was younger that makes me feel like I haven't done much, but thank you all. big honor.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Hensley.
Well, since the last time you've been here, Amarah, one of the things I feel blessed is I've become your friend, and I think we've become friends. We've gone to lunch, we've hung out a little, I've learned a lot about you and all of your talents, and I know that it's hard sometimes when you've had bullying or you've had things that have happened and been told things, that it's hard. So one of the things I always want to do is keep reminding you of how much you give and how awesome you are. You have so many talents, and we are blessed as a community to have you here to share your story, to open your heart, and to help others. And I know you're going to go far in life, and I feel blessed that our paths have crossed.
Thank you.
Okay, Councilor Brawls.
I just want to say thank you for taking the leadership to do this for the Hope for Kids. You know, you're going to influence a lot of lives for the good. So thank you, and we appreciate it.
Councilor Griego.
Thank you, Amarah. Just as the mayor says, just that small time that you spend with somebody to give them hope, it goes a long, long ways, and it helps a lot of people. So thank you for that, to taking that time to spend with other people, because you know we all go up and down, and when we're down, there's times that people don't pay attention to us, you know, and that small amount of time, it sends people right back up. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Griego. Councilor Daniel.
Thank you, Mayor. Amarah, I've had the fortune to work with some of the people who have written letters to your column, and the connection that they make with you and the connection that they feel from you is just amazing. You change their lives by asking them to contribute to your column, and I just want to say thank you for all the work and all the hope and love you bring to our community. Thank you so much.
Okay. Councilor Brawls, did you have your, no? Okay. All righty. So we're going to come down and present a couple of things to you, but I first must say, this proclamation is on behalf of the city of Alamosa, but also here's a plaque that's going to be dedicated to you as well, by your board, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? Holly? Okay. This is very beautiful. We'll come down and greet you, okay? Thank you so much.
And Mayor, did you at some point want the board to come up as well, or how did you want to coordinate
Yes,
that?
if we could have the board come up
Okay.
to us, Heather, as
Thank
well.
you.
Okay, thank you so much.
So I think
So is there a board, are there any board members
they
here?
were supposed to be here.
No?
They were supposed to be here. So-
I would also like to dedicate that little plaque and everything to all the people who had contributed to the column and all the kids who have been abused and neglected by their parents, because it's not just my plaque or all the things, it's also a contribute to them going through so much hardship. I never thought I'd get here. I remember in school, I always try my best, but I never got something like this. And so I would like to thank you, and I would also like to thank the people who had maybe here or not here that contributed to the column. Thank you. it's an honor.
Thank you. And Amarah, I forgot to mention that we have Sheriff Jackson in the back who came all the way here to support you as well for the great things that you do in our community. Thank you, Sheriff Jackson, for doing that. Okay. All right. Up next on the agenda, we have another proclamation for the Kiwanis' 90th birthday. Can we have the Kiwanis members come up here to the podium, if you don't mind? I think you have one spokesperson who said they're going to make a few comments. I think it's you, Kathy.
You can come on up, Andy.
So I'm Kathy Lee from the Alamosa Kiwanis Club, and we want to say thank you to the city recognizing the Kiwanis Club for 90 years in the community, but more importantly to thank the community and the city, because we wouldn't be here for 90 years if it weren't for you buying our cans of nuts and coming out and supporting our pancake breakfast, either with sponsorships or just buying the pancakes, you know, and supporting us. That all that money that you gave us, we turn around and give right back to you. But we want to thank you for supporting us to be able to do that.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, tonight, your proclamation is going to be read by one of your Kiwanis member, and who is also the president of Kiwanis this year. And I'm also honored to be a part of Kiwanis as well. So, Mayor Pro Tem, Councilor Hensley, I'll turn it over to you.
So this proclamation, Kiwanis Club of Alamosa 90th birthday. Whereas Kiwanis International is a global volunteer organization established in 1915 with its motto, serving the children of the world, and with its 550,000 members strong today, annually raising $100 million, and dedicates more than 18.5 million volunteer hours to strengthen communities and to help children. And whereas the Kiwanis Club of Alamosa was chartered on February 27th, 1929, and whereas the Kiwanis Club of Alamosa meets weekly at noon on Thursdays at IHOP Restaurant in Alamosa to listen to programs which address community needs and to learn how Kiwanians can help meet those needs, and in the process are encouraged to greater service. And whereas the Kiwanis Club of Alamosa provides service hours to various projects for the Alamosa community, such as, but not limited to, the Salvation Army annual bell ringing campaign, the Adopt a Highway litter pickup program, the 4th of July community pancake breakfast, Ice Fest costume contest and meet and greet, Scholastic Book Fair support, calls from Santa, annual scholarships for high school seniors to attend Adams State University, and sponsorship of students lead community service organizations such as Key Club at Alamosa High School, Builders Club at Ortega Middle School, and Circle K at Adams State University. And whereas to this day, the Kiwanis Club of Alamosa has remained faithful and true to its mission to improve the world one child and one community at a time, and its motto, serving the children of the world, for the past 90 years. Now, therefore, Ty Coleman, Mayor of Alamosa, Colorado, and on behalf of the Alamosa City Council, do hereby extend best wishes to the members of Kiwanis Club of Alamosa for the happy 90th birthday and 90 more productive years of service, given under the hand and seal of City of Alamosa on this 20th day of February 2019.
Councilor Daniel. Thank you, Councilor Hensley.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
You guys do such amazing work in our community. I just want to thank you for your time, energy, and effort, and the children of our community really appreciate all of the things you do, and I appreciate the pancakes. I don't know about everybody else, but thank you so much for everything that you do. We appreciate it a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so once again, I too would like to thank you, and I'm so honored to be a part of the Kiwanis. You all do such amazing things, and you really help so many kids throughout the San Luis Valley, and we really appreciate everything that you do. So we're gonna come down there, take pictures and all that good stuff. All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you, council. Okay, we're sticking to the agenda here, and the next item we have on the agenda is consent calendar A. Yes, Counselor Daniel.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that we approve consent calendar A.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, please start voting. Ms. Holly?
Motion carried unanimously.
Thank you. Eric? Okay, you can see it. All right, up next on the agenda, under regular business, we have a outside presentation from the cleanup campaign. I believe Aisha, will you be the one up here telling us? Okay, there you go. All right, could you come up to the podium and okay, sure. Please come up here to the podium.
And Mayor, if I could just make an announcement, everyone obviously is welcome to attend the whole meeting, but we often have people sometimes leave after presentations too, and it's not considered rude or anything like that. So I just want to make sure people are more than welcome to stay for the whole city council meeting, but I just want to make sure they know it's not frowned upon either if they want to go home.
Yeah, because sometimes we can get a little winded up here. Okay, if you two gentlemen don't mind, tell us a little, your name, and then tell us a little about your organization. And everything.
Thank you so much, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and the honorable council members. My name is Damon Jarman, and I am a member with the World Mission Society Church of God. We are here tonight to invite you to partner with our church. The World Mission Society Church of God strives to act, first leading out a helping hand to our neighbors on a global scale. My fellow members of the Church of God practice the teachings to be the salt of the light of the world. We carry out volunteer services in the communities where the churches or God are located with the love of God the Mother. But first, I would like to give you a little information about our church. The Church of God, the World Mission Society Church of God, is a Christian non-denominational church with more than 7,000 locations and over 3 million registered members in over 175 countries. The Church of God believes in Elohim God, God the Father, and God the Mother, based on the teachings of the Bible. The Church of God was established in 1964 by Second Coming Christ, Christ Ansanhon, according to the prophecies in the Bible. We also keep the biblical Sabbath according to the teachings of the Bible, which is Saturdays. We also keep the Feast of God of the New Covenant, such as Passover, established by Jesus Christ 2,000 years ago in Mark's upper room. We practice the teachings of helping our neighbors the same way we help ourselves. Together, we can make a difference directly in the lives of the people who need the most help, which are in our own neighborhoods or in our own communities. If it is possible, I would like to play a short video that displays our request to speak with you this evening.
One moment, they'll cue it up. So we're having a little technical difficulties. There'll be
Oh,
a
I
few
don't,
minutes.
so we didn't get the email until after 5 o'clock related to the
Oh, so-
presentation of video. So this is the first time we've tried it, so
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries.
So I don't think the sound's gonna work. I guess let me know if you want me to stop it.
Yes, throughout the video, you will come to see that churches of God located in different countries are conducting a cleanup throughout their community. This is actually our Church of God that is located in Korea. And as you can see from the video, the Church of God has conducted numerous volunteer activities, such as blood drives, disaster reliefs, helping earthquake victims in Haiti and Nepal, where we have branch churches as well, as in the continental U.S. and Puerto Rico from the hurricane disasters that recently affected our nation. We also conduct family events and community appreciation events where police, firefighters, fathers were each honorable beneficiaries. We also host smile campaigns to spread joy and love to a place that are often overlooked, like our senior living housing and rehabilitation and dialysis centers. We want to bring joy where the healing process is slow and positive moments help those at every stage of their recovery. Yes, that is good. Thank you. As I mentioned prior, we celebrate the Passover of the New Covenant. The Passover of the New Covenant was a teaching that is given to us by Jesus Christ that he established 2,000 years ago. The Church of God keeps the teachings of Christ, and we also celebrate the Passover of the New Covenant, which will be held on April 18th, 2019. However, before the Passover is celebrated, here in Alamosa, we would like to discuss with you, now or in a future date, a way that we can display the love of our Father and Mother through a cleanup here in Alamosa. Please understand that we are not asking for money to be included in your annual budget, but we are asking for something equally important, if not significantly more important. We are asking for your time and partnership. We would like to know from you, as the leaders of this city that we live in and worship, where you have seen a need for a cleaner environment. You do not have to answer now, as we would like to meet you later this week, even tomorrow if possible, to discuss the details with one or two of the honorable council members, or with directly Mr. Mayor Coleman. So we would like to know at this time if you would be willing to become a host city to be the beneficiary for a cleanup event.
Okay, so what we're going to do is all of those type of requests go through our city manager, and then council have further discussion about it. We usually don't make decisions on the fly like this, but we will have further discussions about it after we have talk with our city manager and legal, if that's okay.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, you're welcome.
At this time, Dwayne Sparks would like to also introduce more charitable events for the World Mission Society Church of God.
Thank you.
Good evening, council members and Mayor Ty Coleman. My name is Dwayne Sparks, a member of the World Mission Society Church of God, and this is a brief overview of some of the accolades of merit that the Church of God has received through the volunteer services. In 2018, as of recently, we received the Green Apple Award for environmental best practices, both gold and bronze recognitions. And then also in 2017, 2015, 2014, we received the U.S. Presidential Volunteer Service Award, and in 2011, we were actually recognized for the Life Award Achievement for the Presidential Citation in 2011. And then in 2016, we received the Queen's Award for voluntary service and environmental cleanup. And then in 2015, we received the Korean Presidential Citation Group Award. And also, back in 2016 of December 13th, we were actually invited to speak at the UN with the rest of our church as a part of the disaster relief for the event that happened in Nepal back in 2015. Just a little bit of brief overview of each one of those awards. For the Green Apple Award, conducted by an international nonprofit organization called the Green Organization, is officially acknowledged as one of the world's 4 best environmental awards. The gold award was presented to our university students group, ASES, that's Saving the Earth from A to Z. We also plan on starting an ASES group here, both on Adams State University and Trinidad State University. Then also for the Presidential Citation Award, the World Mission Society Church of God was presented with the Lifetime Achievement Award in 2011, featuring the President's signature and recognition of members' volunteer services for more than 4,000 hours, and the church continues to practice the volunteer service with subsequent awards given to us in 2014, 2015, and also 2017. Then 2016, the Queen's Award was given to us, but it is actually recognized as one of the most prestigious awards that a volunteer group can receive in the United Kingdom, and was the result of our devotional community service throughout the entire nation, a trait that can be seen in each branch church around the entire world, and a distinguished characteristic of the World Mission Society Church of God as a whole family. And in 2015, for the Korean Presidential Citation Award, in South Korea, the President's citation is of greater value than any other merit because the recipients are determined after undergoing meticulous background check, beginning with a stringent candidate selection process and a lengthy achievement analysis. Each candidate must undergo rigorous review before being granted the award. This process is especially difficult for a religious organization to complete successfully. Then also, as far as our ASES group that we're going to be starting on hopefully Trinidad campus and also the Adams State University campus, in 2019, ASES, Saving the Earth from A to Z, will hold a future leaders forum in Alamosa, Colorado. Student volunteers in the ASES will host the forum to discuss community service initiatives. They will also hear the words of encouragement from local leaders to inspire continuous participation among young adults.
Okay. All righty. Thank you so very much. I didn't want to cut you off, but you're at the limit. We give 10 minutes for the presentation, but it looks like you all did a great job. But did you have something you wanted to say? Anything else? Or I see you have the papers in your hand.
We would like to present you guys with an article concerning our church, if that's possible.
Okay. Thank you so very much. And I'll turn it back over to council for comments.
And we have one more announcement, 3 seconds of your time. Will the Church of God members please stand? On behalf of the members of the World Mission Society Church of God, we have a message for the mayor and the honorable council members. Church of God family, are you ready? Amen. On 3. 1, 2, 3. We love you. We love you. We love you. Wow. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so very much. We love you too. Thank you all so very much. Appreciate your presentation. Appreciate the great things you're going to be doing throughout the community.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I'm going to pass this so everyone can look. Okay. All righty. Okay. Up next on our agenda, we have board commissions business, the library board appointments. Counselor Daniel.
I'm sorry, Mayor. I just wanted, is the city manager going to follow up with that group, and what's the plan for
Yes,
them?
we'll follow up with them and work through details, and if council needs to be involved, we'll bring something back.
Great, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you all so very
Thank
much.
you.
All righty. No problem. Thank you. That was great. Okay. The library board appointments. Yes, Ms. Holly?
Yep. So the library board has 2 vacant positions available on its board currently. They have terms ending this year, June 1st, 2019, and the other one ending June 1st of 2021. Because that vacancy is up in June, it's recommended that this position automatically be renewed at the annual appointment time in June of this year. And then that'll be I think, 4-year term on that one again. So recently we've had 4 applications that have been received to fill these positions. You guys have interviewed all 4 of those applicants tonight. So tonight you will need to make your appointments. You'll have to vote on these these applicants. So I've given you guys the ballots. You should have them in front of you to vote. Your council policy, you do your appointment by way of ballot, and it should be only effective when appointed by a majority of council present at the meeting. So you do have that tonight. And then when appointing for one vacancy with 2 candidates, the candidates receiving the most votes from a majority of council presented or present shall be appointed. So if you guys want to make your votes on those ballots and then give them back to me, I'll tally them up.
Okay. Counselor Vihil has a question.
Yeah, just a comment question. I wasn't here for the interview, so I don't think I should vote.
And
Is that okay?
I think you can, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You have everyone? Yep. Everyone. Oh, no worries. You know you have a lot going on with the school.
Okay, after the tally of votes, looks like Aubrey Huff and William Krebs are going to be who you are appointing tonight. So if you guys can make a motion to appoint those 2 to the board, that would be great.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that we appoint Will Krebs and Audrey Huff to the library board.
Okay. Counselor Hensley?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I would like to add something, if you
Yes,
don't mind.
please.
I have to tell you, we had 4 of the most awesome candidates put in their application. And I know for myself, and I think for everybody up here, it was a tough, tough decision. Any of those 4 could have done just as great of a job. And it just shows how great of a community we have and the love for our library. And so just wanted to pass that on, that even the ones that didn't make it, that it was a tough decision. And thank them, all 4 of them, for putting in their application.
Okay. Thank you, Counselor Hensley. And Holly, if you don't mind, the other 2 that were not selected, if you don't mind following up with them and reaching out to them and seeing if they wouldn't mind being a part of any of the other vacancies that we have available on some of the boards. We greatly appreciate that. All righty. Okay. Up next,
You
oh,
guys
we got
need to vote, yeah.
Nope, guess not. There we go. We got a motion and a second. No further discussion. Please start voting. Oh, hold on. Did somebody vote no? Okay. Okay. He meant to hit abstain.
Okay.
Okay.
The motion carried unanimously with Counselor Vigil abstaining from the vote.
Okay, thank you. All right. Up next, we have a business brought forward by city staff, Public Works.
Thank you, Mayor. This is up for a public hearing and second reading on ordinance number 4, 2019, which is to approve an intergovernmental agreement with Adams State University so that the City of Alamosa's building department can conduct a building inspection for modulars that the university wishes to allow to be placed at the, is it Gingerbread House that's there, I think? The Child Care Center, anyway. It's been too long since my daughter was there. I forgot the name. So I won't repeat what we went through on first reading. I think it's pretty straightforward. We actually have the signed agreement from ASU back, so they are ready to go as soon, if and when council approves the city's participation in its half of that.
Okay, thank you, Eric. So at this time, we will open it up for the public hearing and the second reading of ordinance number 4-2019. If we have anyone in the audience who would like to come up to the podium to discuss any items related to this public hearing or make any comments, please come up and do so. Okay, doesn't look like anyone in the audience is going to participate, so I will now close the public hearing and turn it back over to council. Yes, Councilor Daniel.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, I move that we approve ordinance 4-2019.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please vote. Okay, Ms. Holly.
The motion carried unanimously.
Okay. Item number 2, a public hearing and second reading of ordinance number 3-2019.
Thank you, Mayor. As the city attorney communicated for the previous item, this is the second hearing and second reading public hearing. The fire chief presented information that this is somewhat of a housekeeping item. We've had a long partnership with other valley entities in regards to hazardous responses, and this is to put that into an intergovernmental agreement and to solidify that.
Thank you, Heather. So at this time, I would open up the public hearing to the audience. If there's anyone who would like to make any comments in regards to ordinance number 3-2019, please come up to the podium. Doesn't look like we have anyone. So I will now close the public hearing and bring it back to council. Councilor Daniel.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that we approve ordinance number 3-2019.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, please start voting.
The
Okay.
motion carried unanimously.
Thank you. Up next on the agenda, under City Manager Legal, we're going to switch item B and A. And if it's okay, Heather, I'm going to move B up to the A and A down to where B was, if that's okay, from the agenda, okay? So, that's you.
Okay, so thank you.
You're welcome.
I recognize we have a few ACID board members in the audience, and I know that they're here on this item, so thank you for moving that up for them. We've had a lot of discussions surrounding this item, including a work session. At that work session, we had the ACID Board of Directors as well as representative from SBDC and representatives from the Chamber to meet with City Council and discuss the idea of continuing what is a very strong private-public partnership, but modifying that to the degree of, instead of an executive director under the umbrella of ACID, it would become a city employee, but that we would still have investors and that it would still be a public-private partnership. Reasons that were provided from the ACID board is the sustainability of this possibility, the ability to free this individual up to do more economic development rather than some of the overhead and the operational, insurance, IT, some of those types of things. And then just that when you look at becoming a city employee and the benefit package and the retirement and some of those aspects as well. From a staff perspective, we also think it can help streamline some of our processes. So when we have someone looking to either open a business or develop, they can be a warm handoff with our licensing department, our inspections department, planning department, those types of things as well. And so we think there's a lot of synergy that could happen with this transition, but yet it still respects the private-public partnership and maintains that. Based on council's reaction at the work session, we have put the advertisement out there. We did make modifications based on council comment. The first one was that instead of having the position be in grade 13, we should look at lowering it slightly and put it at grade 12. So we did make that change. And then we also had a council member look at some of the minimum requirements. And if 2 years was enough in lieu of a degree, and that probably was a little bit of an oversight, so we did change that to 5 years. And so I can go over everything we did in the work session again, or if you want me to stop at this point and I can answer questions. And again, I'd like to thank the ACID board members if you have any questions for them as well.
Okay. Thank you, Heather. Councilor Daniel, then Councilor Vigil.
Thank you, Mayor. I just really wanted to say thank you for making the changes, and thank you to the ACID board. I've appreciated the communication. I've appreciated the openness to this idea and the willingness to look at it. And so I'm in full support of this, and I just wanted to say thank you for looking at the changes that we had asked you to last time, and thank you to the board for being willing to continue this public-private partnership in a new way. I think it has a lot of benefit for the city and our entire community, so thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Daniel. Councilor Vigil.
Thank you, Mayor. So I was not here for that work session, but we talked in our monthly meeting. My daughters were real sick 2 weeks ago, so, but, okay, so just some clarifying questions for me. The starting pay for this person would be around $55,000?
Yeah, so that would be the minimum, and then we would look at what the qualifications are and if they're above that minimum requirement and those types of considerations.
Okay, and so just to be fully transparent with council, some of the questions I had for Heather when we talked about this last week was, I thought that the pay was a little bit too high at the grade 14.
Mm-hmm.
So going down to grade 13, I appreciate that. And then I also stressed to Heather that our vision as a council and what this economic person and what that job entails and what we want that person to go out and do, I hope is clearly communicated to whoever this may be, and that it's somehow I would like some of our goals and our vision for what this needs to be communicated to this person, and hopefully they get out and do it. But we had talked about this at I believe a retreat, and I've always been in favor of this. I think if we have this person in our backyard, we can get more things done. And I also see the potential conflict of, I think council does need to take a step back from this, and we don't need to be involved in the day-to-day, and we don't need to be involved in knowing, like these different deals that might be going on, that type of stuff. That's none of our business, and I think we go down a slippery slope if we try to find out what's going on in that type of situation. So, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Any other comments? Nope. Okay. Councilor Daniel.
Mayor, I move that we authorize the city manager to hire an economic development director within grade 12 of the pay plan.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Well, Council, I want to thank you all so very much. This is just my comment for moving forward with this. The economic development person will be able to help us in the 3 areas of economic development, which consist of retention, expansion, and attraction. So I'm quite sure under Heather's leadership, we'll see the benefits of this position in the future. Start voting. Okay.
The motion carried unanimously.
Thank you, Ms. Hawley. And thank you, ACID Board, and all the community stakeholders who are working with us as well. Okay. All right, Ms. Heather, we're going to now go to the other item we had there.
Thank you, Mayor. So as we quickly tried to create a little bit more of a structured process for how we do the sponsorship, we had our 2 volunteers, which was Councilor Daniel and Councilor Vigil, and I do want to congratulate them. So for the first time through this, reviewing the applications, trying to take what was a lot of requests for really awesome events, they really applied some good knowledge and logic to it and a really fair approach. And so what you have before you is a request to fund 8 different entities at different levels. And I know when we went into this, we discussed saving $5,000 for the first half and $5,000 for the second half. But what we've quickly realized is 2 big ones are in the first half, which is the rodeo and the Cinco de Mayo. So we're hoping that City Council will support the request to go 500 over that 5,000. I do want to point out that the Alamosa Roundup, the recommendation from our committee was at 2,000. So that is starting to racket it down more than what we've provided in the past. I think the other is the Cinco de Mayo celebration. Just based on our community and our history and our cultural diversity, we felt that this was a really great addition to our community last year. So with this being the 2nd annual, we wanted to make sure that that stayed strong. And so you'll see a recommendation of 1,500 for that one. And then you will see some consistency in recommendation of 300 for some of the other events. And then for those events that usually pay for a stage, we made the recommendation to include the stage and not charge them. So that does provide an impact, and we wanted to list what those prices are. And so I'll just list out what those requests were in the recommendation. So for the Alamosa Roundup, it's recommended we fund them at $2,000. Every Child Safe at $500 plus the use of the rec center, which we estimate the value of that at $210. Youth of the Year Breakfast at $300. Mozart's Requiem at $300. The 25th Rollin' Deep Car Show at $300 plus use of the stage for $400. Cinco de Mayo celebration at $1,500 plus the use of the stage for $200. Rails and Ales Block Party for $300 plus the use of the stage for $600. And the Rodeo Dance Street Party, $300 plus the use of the stage for $200. Now, when we met, council, I think, was going to do this presentation, but I didn't know if they remembered that. So I covered some of it, but I think the questions can be directed to the 2 council members if you guys have any.
Okay. First of all, I would like to thank the 2 council members for putting a lot of time into doing this, because that's a lot of work to divide up that amount of money and do it fairly. So go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor, and
You're welcome.
Ms. Daniel, please excuse me if I misspeak here, but we did take into account something that Mr. Grego says a lot, that this money is seed money, and that's what it was intended for. And if your event or whatever you got going has been established and is doing successful, well, we thought it was the right thing to start taking some of that money away. And you can see that with the Alamosa Roundup. Then another thing that I'd like to highlight, and Heather covered it a little bit, was we thought the importance of the Cinco de Mayo celebration and how it celebrates our cultural diversity here in town and the valley. And I believe they requested $1,500 and they were fully funded at $1,500. So everybody else did take a little bit of a hit. So anything else?
Councilor Daniel?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The one thing you will notice, Council, is that the costs of the stage are different, so the in-kind amounts are different depending on the organization. is the different charges that they have, if they're a for-profit or a not-for-profit, and how many days they need it. So Jess Jolly was also there, and she did an amazing job from Parks and Rec, and sharing with us the history of these events, how they've worked with the city, and the charges that they've had from her side of the house, which really helped us look at the in-kind donations as well.
Thank you, Councilor Daniel. Okay, Councilor Brawls.
I was going to say thank you for the two councilors for working on this, and I would basically agree with the allocations.
Okay, you're going to make a motion, sir? There you go.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion?
I'll
Council-
second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, if not, please start voting. Good job, council.
The motion carried unanimously.
Great, great. All right, thank you. That was great.
Can I add one little thing, Mr. Mayor?
Sure.
Is you'll see there the fourth item down is the Mozart's Requiem. That's a new event coming to town, and it reaches out to a specific part of our community that's probably lacking in some sort of event in that. So I think we thought that was a pretty good event to start funding.
Well, thank you all for doing that.
Can I ask one question?
Sure.
I was trying to look through, I'm going to assume there were some that didn't get funded. Was everything funded? Okay, awesome.
They were not funded at what they requested,
But
but
they-
everyone did receive some funding.
That's great. That's actually, because that's a hard choice, so.
The only two that weren't, there were two, right, that were the wrong time of the year.
Okay, that's why I got
Yes,
confused.
yes.
Okay. And so they were posted there, but okay, so we'll push them forward. Awesome. Thank you.
Once again, great job. Great job. Okay, up next on the agenda is committee reports. Do we have any committee reports? I thought we voted. Did we vote? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We voted. Okay. Committee reports. Councilor Hensley.
So I did go to the marketing board last Tuesday. And a couple things, there is a new member on the board. Dre Jaramillo Oaks is now on our marketing board, so we're real excited about that. And then another thing is the Craft 101 grant went through, and everything's starting to roll out for that. And that's actually for the Colorado Rural Academy for Tourism. And it's a great opportunity, and it's honestly, I think, and don't quote me on this, but I think it's only 2 communities in the state get it. So it's very exciting, and I'm actually honored to be one of the people that will be going through this training, which I think starts in about 2 weeks. So this should be some really exciting stuff to help for our tourism here in our community.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Hensley. Okay, the only report I had is I did get a chance to go to Denver last week and go to the legislative policy meeting, and it was very informative, and CML will be sending updates to everyone here to go over what that meeting entailed in detail. And if you have any questions about it, feel free to reach out to me. Okay, no more committee reports. Next, we have staff announcements.
Thank you, Mayor.
Welcome.
A reminder that next week is going to look a little bit different for us, so you will have 2 meetings next week. The first one is the work session on Tuesday, where we will have at 6 o'clock the consultant who is handling the downtown plan to provide an update, answer questions, make sure we're heading in the right direction. The second part of that work session on Tuesday, the 26th, will be a presentation from Cleve Simpson regarding the water export discussions. So it'd be a really good opportunity to have a understanding of what that request is looking like, what its implications can be on not just the city, but the valley as a whole, and discuss if the city should be taking any type of position. So 2 very important work sessions. The second night is on Wednesday, the 27th, will be a work session to do interviews for those who have applied for our Citizen Streets Committee. The deadline for that is this Friday. We are trying to make sure that we are clear in our communication that you do not have to be in favor of the proposed dedicated street sales tax. This is for those individuals who want to have a voice in recommending something to City Council on what the priority should be for the next 10 years if that sales tax is approved. And so we want to make sure potential volunteers are not confused that it does not mean that they need to be in support of that. It's just we want to make sure we have all the voices at the table in setting what those priorities should be recommended to council. So just wanted to kind of offer that clarification. I also wanted to share, we had some of that amazing news at the last meeting in regards to the $50,000 donation for the Mom Trail. We have had a few county residents in that area reach out to us with some potential concerns. Andy's meeting with them. We're going to meet with them, find out what's going on, have some discussions, and those types of things. So just from an FYI perspective. And then finally, I did want to share that Mark Wright is no longer the city's public works director. We are working from a staff perspective to look at what we're going to do to make sure that the department is still functioning at the full level. Harry Reynolds is agreed to step up and serve as our interim public works director as we conduct that search. So he will be a point of contact. He will be attending these meetings, all of those types of things. But obviously Harry had a full-time job. And so taking on the project management side of that and all of that isn't something that Harry can just do. So obviously we've got great staff. A lot of our division heads as well as other staff are going to be stepping up and making sure that we get these projects done. Additionally, from a project management consultant side of it, we are contracting with KLG, and so Ms. Kelly Green is here tonight as well. She's also a licensed engineer, extensive project management experience, and will be handling some of that side of it from just the project management side of it. So I wanted to give, since her time here meeting with staff and looking at the projects coincided with a council meeting, you can put a face to that and provide an update on that item.
Okay. Any other staff announcement?
No, sir, we do have an executive session though.
Coming up shortly, okay. All right. Council comments?
Yeah,
Councilor
Mayor.
Vio?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to, two things. For the last year, we've been really concerned with water and the drought, and we've been kind of, if you're the praying type, we've been praying for snow and rain, and we're getting a ton of it in our mountains over the last few weeks. So it's looking good there. We need a lot more to continue to replenish the aquifer, replenish our reservoirs, that type of stuff. And the second thing is I want to give a good luck to all of our Valley wrestlers, our local wrestlers. They're at state this weekend, and a lot of your basketball teams are going through districts and the regionals and into the state over the next 2 weeks. And I know we have a lot of really good athletes and teams in our valley, so good luck to all of them.
Thank you, Councilor Vio. Councilor Brawls?
Yeah, with all the snow, I do appreciate the Public Works and the staff and the people who worked on it. I know we have a certain budget, certain equipment, certain employees, and I think they did an admirable job. I know in my ward, I only got 2 calls concerned about snow removal, and within a day, I didn't even call, but within a day, it was taken care of, so I appreciate what Public Works has done.
Okay. All right. No further, there are no further council comments? Okay.
Mayor, I move that we move into executive session pursuant to CRS 24-6-402 4F to discuss personnel matters relating to the Public Works Director position.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? No, please start voting. We will be entering into executive session. No further business will be discussed. When we return, we will adjourn the meetings.